I only slept for 8 hours on the train, yet 15 whole years had passed in the outside world. Your parents died 10 years ago. Is there anyone else we can contact? The police officer asked. Dead? Just the day before, I had talked to them on the phone. I held back my tears and gave them my husband's number. Sorry, the number you have dialed is no longer in service. The officer looked at me awkwardly, but the next second, I pointed at the giant screen on the building outside and said, he can come get me. He's my husband. All the officers taking statements stopped what they were doing and stared at me in shock. This whole situation was truly bizarre. But looking at the bustling police station and the towering buildings outside, I had to accept that everyone on this train, over 300 people, had traveled through time. I looked around in confusion. At first, not only did the police not believe us, we thought we'd been scammed, but faced with genuine ID cards and rapidly advanced technology, we had no choice but to accept reality. I pointed at the 100-inch screen outside. Torres was on it, wearing a black suit. The scar on his forehead was from our senior year of high school, when he risked his life to protect me and got hit in the head with a beer bottle by some thugs. Back then, his eyebrow was permanently missing a corner, and he radiated an aura that said, don't mess with me. He was rough around the edges, and no girl could get close to him except me. He was completely different from the refined gentleman on that screen, but now he seemed like a perfect match for Mia. But why should I, the legitimate wife, end up being the mistress? So I refused to contact anyone else. I wanted Torres to come get me. I wanted to wedge myself into their loving relationship at its peak, to disgust them both, just like they did to me, one second letting me bask in the joy of a happy marriage, the next forcing me to tear that dream apart with my own hands. Are you sure? The female officer looked at me with some concern. At the same time, every officer in the station stopped what they were doing and looked at me with disbelief. This scene confirmed my suspicions. Torres was doing well now, I'm sure. Before I got on that train, he was still my legal husband. Seeing my determination, the officer could only comply. Torres wasn't easy to reach now. The officer made calls and contacted supervisors, and an hour later the call finally went through. But the voice on the other end wasn't his. Hello, this is the MT Group CEO's office. How may I help you? MT Marta? Why would he name his company using my initials? Did he still have feelings for me? Hello, this is the police station. We need to speak with Torres. Please transfer the call. Beep, beep, beep. Hello? Only 10 seconds passed, but it felt like 10 years. Hearing that familiar voice on the other end, my heart jumped into my throat. What if he looked at me with disgust? What if he really had married Mia and had children? I suddenly regretted this. I shouldn't have acted so impulsively. Is this Mr. Torres? This is the police station, the officer asked. Yes, how can I help you? I nervously picked at my nails, holding my breath, shoulders hunched, not daring to look at the officer. But my attention was completely on that phone call. We found Ms. Marta, who went missing 15 years ago. She's right here beside me, and we need you to come pick her up. He seemed shocked, as he didn't respond for a long time. The ticking of the second hand fell into my heart, and everything around me seemed to slow down. Just as my face turned red from holding my breath and I was about to give up. No need. Alright, I'll be there shortly. I breathed a sigh of relief and sat quietly in the chair, watching as passengers were gradually picked up by their families. Some wept with joy and embraced each other, while others glared at each other with resentment. It seemed there were quite a few people in situations like mine. Many spouses had given up searching in the second year of our disappearance and started new families, so our reappearance became a burden and inconvenience. This made me nervous again. When I saw Torres, how should I face him? Would he blame me for disrupting his current life? Extreme anxiety clouded my mind, so much so that I didn't even notice when it got dark outside. I was the only one left with no one to claim me. Tap, tap.